The morning he said it, he didn't even look at me. He was pacing by the kitchen counter, phone pressed to his ear, words spilling out like a river he couldn't stop. "Don't expect a single cent from me. Figure it out yourself." I smiled. Not a sharp, triumphant smile, not a vindictive one, just a slow, quiet acknowledgement. Deal, I thought. That was all. I didn't have a plan, not yet, but I had something better: perspective. I had time to watch him in his element, to notice the details he always ignored, how the sunlight caught the edge of the countertop just so, how his tie always ended up crooked no matter how often he straightened it, how confident he sounded, yet how hollow. For a few days I wandered through the apartment like a shadow, cataloging what I owned, what he assumed was his, and what had been under my name all along. Memories of past projects, of investments I'd quietly handled resurfaced, things he bragged about as if he had done the work, things I had built from scratch. And now, ironically, things that were about to give me leverage. I started small. I reviewed account statements, logged into portals I hadn't touched in months, pulled up documents I had filed quietly over the years, things in my name. All of it mundane, procedural, yet in aggregate it was powerful. Each keystroke, each scanned PDF was a subtle act of reclamation. Meanwhile, he went on as if nothing had changed. Every evening he would recount his day, his new clients, his grand plans, as if my silence meant submission. But I was moving beneath the surface, like water shaping stone over time. Then the moment came, concrete, undeniable, and public. I needed verification for one of the accounts, an authority figure, someone neutral, someone with the power to make decisions had to confirm my ownership. The bank officer didn't care who we were married to. She asked for documents. I handed them over. Minutes later, the confirmation came through. My name, clear, undisputed. The account, the assets, the control, all legally and procedurally mine. He walked in just as the officer finished the call. I could see his confidence crack before he even spoke. "Wait, how is this possible?" His voice rose, panicked but precise, the kind of panic that comes from realizing your assumptions about control were wrong and too late. I didn't answer. I let the silence speak. He stammered through a series of questions, technical, legal, incredulous, but the officer was firm. Documents verified, ownership confirmed, authority decisive. No argument could undo it. Afterwards, he retreated to the bedroom, muttering under his breath, trying to salvage what little dignity remained. I stayed in the living room, sipping the now cold coffee I had abandoned days ago, and for the first time since the firing, felt the calm thrill of being untethered. Not from anger, not from revenge, but from capability. Over the next few weeks, I moved deliberately, paid bills, redirected investments, reorganized schedules. Every action was quiet but precise. He tried to intervene once, twice, subtly at first, then desperately, but each attempt collided with authority-backed confirmation. The power wasn't flashy, it wasn't dramatic, it was concrete and procedural. He screamed once, not at me, not directly, but into the phone, in front of me, his desperation a mirror of his previous hubris, and I simply watched, still sipping coffee, still calm. Victory, in the end, was not about his suffering, it was about the restoration of equilibrium, the reclamation of autonomy. The apartment felt different now, not because he had changed, but because I no longer needed his validation, his money, or even his approval. I had my own authority, quietly absolute. That evening, I looked around and noticed the sunlight again, catching the same edge of the counter, only this time it illuminated my space, my control. Not a celebration, not a triumphal parade, just quiet, deliberate competence. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. The knowledge that I could stand on my own, legally, financially, psychologically, was enough. He could scream, he could panic, but I had already moved on, and he would eventually have to adapt to the new reality. And in that quiet, reflective moment, I realized empowerment doesn't need drama. It doesn't need vindictive gestures. Sometimes it's just a matter of letting authority and preparation do the talking.